Welcome back again.
Favorite moment in the week.
Favorite moment in the week, especially if we could talk about FSD in Europe.
Regulations.
Oh, the regulatory topic. Is it now the time to take off all my clothes, or?
Yeah,
Well,
feel free,
you're
Kees,
almost
so-
fired of your job as
Yeah,
a
I can
FSD
quit.
regulation expert.
I can quit. Yeah,
Could be that you're done in February.
let's
Well,
hope so.
I see just an opportunity opening for Kees just to follow and track FSD in Europe. So that's
It's
To what? To build an FSD tracker.
no, just to follow the rollout of FSD in Europe
Yeah.
and all that
No,
become
but finally he doesn't need to talk about
regulations anymore.
the
That's all.
UNECE Article 39.
holy fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're become an expert in Article 39, and you were the one who actually called it. And
Yeah. Funny, right? Yeah. A year ago.
Congrats on that.
Thank
and,
you.
I listened to the
Spaces yesterday.
Spaces yesterday.
Yeah.
You were on fire.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for 1 hour, well, almost 1 hour straight. Together with a lot of the people who we are in a group with, both.
Steven and
Exactly. Yeah, I think this was the first spaces we've had where we really made good predictions, positive predictions, and painted the whole framework, the picture that's at play right now. So I hope everybody enjoyed listening to it. And it's on X. I think Tesla Owners Club Netherlands, they posted it, so you can also listen it back there.
yeah, there were very good things. One of the things I can remember, which you guys mentioned, is please, people, let the RDW alone.
Yeah, leave
not-
Britney alone.
Yeah, leave them alone, and then let them do their job.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we touched upon this in the last episode. We started to reach out more and more as a community, and I think a week after we started this, Tesla themselves posted something on X where they urge everybody to reach out to their national type approval authorities or road authorities, and well, that unleashed this shockwave
Yeah.
where the RDW was being flooded with messages. And then all of a sudden, just before the weekend on a Friday, Tesla Europe, Europe Middle East, they decided to post something about, okay, what are we doing? What's our focus? What are the procedures we're working on? So that's very positive that they finally say something about it, from an official statement point of view, because of course I called it and I've written something about it, but it was never fully confirmed that this was the path that they were embarking on. So very positive that we have this confirmation, and it also forces the RDW to also be more open and transparent in what they're doing. How I read that message from Tesla is also kind of an outcry, fucking hell, we're doing all this effort and we're getting nowhere, so let's bombard them with positive messages, as if the deal is already done, which is not the case at all. But I think they're trying to switch the negative, when is it coming? I bought my car, this and then, and all the complaints are now something negative, something positive, which is very good. But think about it. You leave office on a Friday, and let's say you had a good week, you had some beers, and I'm gonna have a good weekend. And then Monday, you come back from a weekend, maybe a little bit hungover, and then you open up your laptop and you see 1,500 messages from people congratulating you. Well, thanks for approving and allowing FSD. Well, what a start of a week they must have had. But I think the wave is created, it's there. We see the trembling of that wave in BNR News Radio. They talked about it in the morning. They published an article about it. This morning...
Which is the Dutch national radio station.
Yeah,
To explain to our international-
for corporate Netherlands, this
Yeah.
is the channel you're going to listen to in the morning and in the afternoon when you're in the car.
And the RDW is our national.
Yeah, it's the European Homologation Type Approval Authority.
Yeah.
And then I got a call this morning from Eén Vandaag.
Okay. Which also news.
It's a news outlet. So like the mission has been accomplished. Like the people who need to know about it, there's no doubt in my mind that everybody at the coffee table in the morning in all those organizations were talking about this. So that's a very positive thing, and I think now it's like you said, and like I said yesterday, like leave them alone, let them do their jobs, because responding to Tesla fan mail is not the core activity you should be focusing on when it comes to this.
And I don't know if you talked about this yesterday as well, but what do you think of the timeline? Why did Tesla and also RDW also confirmed it that February will be the date? Because February from now on is only 90 days.
Yeah.
Does that imply that there's already a lot of work done, or what's going to happen in the next 90 days?
Well,
according to you,
if we start again at the post that Tesla released, they state that in 17 different countries, over 1 million kilometers of FSD kilometers have been driven. So, like, the testing has been done already. In the statement that RDW released, it's slightly different. They say, together with Tesla, we have come up with a plan to reach this deadline. So the actual approval still needs to take place, and I don't know all the requirements in that approval process. Tesla has delivered already like a 200-page report to the RDW, which...
Okay, so now it affects you. The situation is tough on you. I know it, Kees. So.
Dude, like you both are like half sick. I'm not even in a room with you guys for 10 minutes, and I'm starting to get sick. Wow.
I hope you managed to get to the end of this episode.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
No, I know you're working on this regulation for so long.
It's
I know you're
tough.
getting emotional a bit.
Yeah, it's getting emotional.
It's getting emotional.
Oh wow,
It's breaking down.
It's breaking down.
It's starting already. Yeah, so like I don't know the requirements for this approval process, but once if they clear this test, it will almost immediately become effective in the Netherlands. So we have this exemptionary type approval for at least 6 months to up until 36 months, considering the fact that the RDW is like if the RDW gives you a stamp of approval, every member state will follow that stamp of approval. That's how big the influence of the RDW is.
They're like a guide country, no?
Exactly, yeah. Like they give out the passport, and then it can drive all over Europe. So once it's given, I don't foresee any like major blocks. Every member state could then say, we blindly follow the ruling, and we're going to implement it in our nation-state regulations at the nation-state level. Or they wait for a European Commission vote where the TCMV needs to give their like...
What kind of institution is this, the TMCV?
Yep. I take it over from Kees while we... Oh, don't die, Kees.
Holy fuck. I need a cigarette, I think.
Yes. I think so too, yeah. He can smoke inside.
Yeah, no, well...
Let's do a Rogan kind of episode.
Yeah.
It's the technical
committee. Take a sip of whiskey or some Tesla mezcal. It's arrived in the Netherlands.
And expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
324 euro, huh?
For a bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's the technical committee for motor vehicles.
Ah, okay.
And it's more like an advisory board.
So what were we talking about?
Yeah, well, I follow in this news as well, of course, and we talk about it every week. But it feels we're finally getting there, so that's the good news. But on the other hand, there's still a lot of sort of hold your horses in that message.
Still needs
So-
to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also no clarity in what exactly they expect, because the data is already there from the US, although a different market.
Yeah, and European data is already there. Like what I said, 1 million kilometers.
Yeah, that's like 6 billion in total. So 1 million is not like a lot, if you ask me. But I was thinking about I'm starting to become more and more of a believer of a decentralized integration in Europe. Because if you look at the traffic situation in Europe as of now, the traffic in South Italy or Italy looks totally different than the traffic here in the Netherlands. So and for example, Germany is a different road behavior as we have in Netherlands, right? So you can drive a lot faster. So there are, let's say, at least nuances between countries. And also different rule sets between countries. So as I was thinking to myself, well, there can be a sort of EU level approach, but I also see the doors opening for sort of countries just adopting and trying to push forward faster.
I think it will be that way because, of course, there are some differences, and it can even be argued that the Dutch roads are by far like the safest in the world, perhaps. And European roads in general are very safe and a lot safer than they are in America. So if it can work in America, it can also work here. But I do think there needs to be like specific training on the specific countries, because like the Italians tend to drive a little bit different in their behavior, but like the roads in general aren't that different. Okay, but put aside like small countries like Monteriggioni, for instance, and you drive up to the top, it will be different.
Yeah, but there are also, for example, Italy doesn't have like the voeg in the
Invoegstrook. Oh yeah. Merging
lanes. They don't have that, so it's bam, you're on the highway.
Yeah, it's the same for Spain. Very short.
Yeah, very short. So there are these kind of nuances, and so I'm always very surprised by sort of waiting for sort of whole European sort of regulation for these kind of things. And I've been looking into some data about the significance of this in Europe. We're talking about a total of where is my data?
Oh, this map, the amount of road deaths last year in the European Union.
Yeah, no, about the total amount of Teslas on the road here in Europe.
Yeah.
So the total amount of Teslas is about 1.2 million as of beginning to 25. So probably it's 25, 1.3, 1.4 million.
Yeah.
So on the total fleet of Tesla, that is like 20%. So therefore, it's also maybe less and less a priority for Tesla to focus on Europe in that sense. In the beginning, it was a very important market for them. But now, because of this FSD delay, it's becoming less and less important because more and more cars, it's a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy what is happening here. Because also the sales trends for Tesla in 25 are very sharply down. So the US and China are sort of filling that gap that Europe is causing, partly due to some competition in Europe, although not sure if that's the case, but also the Musk sentiment that was being very strong.
Yeah.
But also the proposition in China and US has been with FSD already for a long time, right? So it's an add-on technology, very important technology for a consumer to have in order his buying decision. So, and then if you look at the breakdown of countries, Germany has the most Teslas on the road. Of course, they have the factory as well. It's 250,000-ish cars. Then the United Kingdom, 200K cars. Then France, then Norway, then Netherlands on number 5, with 80,000 cars. Then Sweden, 70,000 cars. And then all the way down to Italy with 25,000 cars. So then you can also imagine that that for, let's say, the top 5 countries, it's going to be most important that they adopt this technology. So it can easily be that Germany, United States, France, Norway, or the Netherlands will be one of the earlier adapters and try to push it forward. But also there's backlash, of course, in Germany because the whole nation relies on the car industry there.
Yeah.
So there's maybe also some pushback there on this regulations from, let's say, lobbyists from Mercedes, BMW, and the other German car manufacturers.
I think the biggest issue for the approval of FSD on a UNECE level, but also European level, is that you have these advisory boards and you have the European Transport Safety Council. They are, for instance, the driving force behind the reason why we need to drive 30 kilometers an hour in Amsterdam. Wow, nice this. But there's this woman, I won't call out her name, and she is a researcher by heart, and she researches, she gives out like advice. Her advice has been pivotal in the not approving of system-initiated maneuvers a year ago. So you got like 2 or 3 Dutch people, you got 2 Swedes, 2 UK, and 1 from Norway. So like there's this group of 5 or 10 people that are really influential in decision making. And I don't think it's necessarily the lobbying. It does play like a big role. But if you take a grander approach and you look on a global level, I don't necessarily agree with what you said, like that FSD is the major driving force in your decision making whether or not to buy that car. It's like a Tesla is a very good vehicle already. It will drastically improve with FSD. But I think that the take-up rate is around 15% on a global scale. So like that's also peanuts still. And I think Europe is by far the most ready for autonomous adoption. So it's still a very interesting market to look into.
Are you already able to define how the product is going to look like? Are we going to see an exact copy of FSD 14.2 here in the Netherlands as of February? Or are we going to see some limitations on that product?
I think the whole point of this Article 39 exemption is that you don't need to abide by the rules already set in place. So they can just release FSD. However, you want to have a safe rollout. The amount of hardware for vehicles on which the system is trained on is a lot less than hardware 3. The same goes for Australia and New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And there we've seen the rollout of V13 and not 14.
In Australia, they did that?
Yeah, so they pushed V13 only to hardware 4 vehicles.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we might see an introduction of V13 instead of V14 on hardware 4 vehicles at first
yeah.
and then spread more to hardware 3 vehicles.
Which will be like 12 months later.
Exactly, yeah. But I don't think we're going to see V14 directly, but that's also dependent on the timeline. So let's say V14.3 is gonna that's gonna be the end game.
It will be somewhere
product.
in January. Yeah,
exactly. I don't think they would have approval for 14, so I don't think they can release it at the same time. But like that's still an open book. It's very difficult to say something about it.
Okay. And then my second question was, what happens if you drive in the Netherlands with FSD 13 or whatever, and you cross the border?
It ceases to work.
Okay.
And we've seen this post from Green the Only.
Okay.
You know that
Yeah, yeah.
account? Well, he's always like searching into the codes. And there have been some messages popping up in that code. Pay attention, you're approaching country borders.
Okay.
So it's already being baked in the software, and I think that's also one of the requirements set forth by the RDW. So I do believe there's a high level of collaboration between Tesla and RDW
Wow.
to get it introduced.
Big Brother is watching you. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of scary sometimes if you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be also one of the reasons that Europe is actually pushing this technology in order to come to Europe.
To have more oversight
To have more oversight.
and more control.
Yeah.
Might be one of the reasons.
I mean, the whole German car industry is already lost. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they are turning that into a war economy and a war industry.
Yeah, but
So
also my
It's quite funny what's happening lately, no? I mean, do you have any idea? This is my follow-up question, and I give it to you, Damien. Why now? What happened? Why are we suddenly in this? Because last week we talked about it, and you were like,
It ain't gonna happen.
it ain't gonna happen for years. And now we're here. It's a completely different world again. And
Yeah.
why? What happened last week on Friday?
I think what I said earlier that. Okay, so I know some people working at Tesla and that they are frustrated as well with like how the whole process, how slowly it's moving forward.
Yeah, and they reached out on X to have the whole community
Yeah.
help them. And
So there was
they
kind
were-
of a desperate outcry, and they forced the RDW by making this statement, which has been seen by millions of people. So whenever Tesla posts something, it gets seen by so many people, so it becomes hard to ignore. And they forced them to.
It's like a
to-
front page of
Exactly.
a big
I
news outlet.
I think it's a tactic on the one hand, like to say, like, hurry the F up, guys. We're getting sick and tired of it.
From Tesla, you mean? It's like
Exactly, from Tesla.
okay.
And then also it's their
Because
responsibility.
behind the curtains, they know what's happening.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also a responsibility towards their customers, like to inform them, like, this is not on us. Like, we have it in China, we have it in Japan, and New Zealand, everywhere, except here. And we're not the ones to blame, you know?
Yeah, so actually the post from the head of the AI team, what's his name again? John or something? Jay, who said, I've been working whole weekend on
delivering documents to...
it was already like a pre-shot, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
I need to post this because I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's not getting further, the process.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
And that was the first shot delivered.
Yeah, and then the Tesla Europe account came along and like duit in het zakje gedaan.
Yeah, but it's quite strange, no? That because the RDW they brought out their message like on Monday morning or also Friday.
Monday.
Yeah, so
No, like 1 or 2 days after, yeah.
yeah. So can you still remember what happened last week? When did Tesla? Because this head of AI, it was on Sunday or something. Then
Yeah.
Tesla's shout out something
So
on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then I think a day or 2 days later, already RDW already shout out, this is what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Or was it already a done deal before he actually put something on X?
Well, I don't think it is a done deal at all.
yeah,
And that's also, like, if you look at the wording that Tesla used in their statement, they said that RDW is committed to an approval in February. But, like, everybody can be committed to an approval, but nothing is voted on, nothing is proven, nothing is decided. So if you look at the wording, they use a lot of words, but they don't really say anything of real value besides like confirming what we've been thinking and the amount of kilometers driven, stuff like that. But it's not a done deal.
No,
at
I
all.
understand, but did the sentiment change within your expert group, or is it still the same? And we just got some battles on social media.
In general, the sentiment is still the same.
Okay. So still very negative.
Still very negative, but the fact that there is more transparency from both parties involved is a very positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the data case has been building and building and building as well. And the RDW Article 39 route is the only route that can be taken for a quick introduction of FSD.
Yeah.
If this doesn't go through,
then we're done.
then we're doomed, and it's gonna be late 27 at the soonest.
Yeah, then we have to go all in, or Tesla has to go all in on the robotaxi.
Exactly. Then there's no point in
FSD.
supervised anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't think that the sentiment within the group has changed. But I do think the RDW needed to make this statement because they were being flooded with messages.
Mm-hmm.
And some statements were made that they need to, of course, nuance, and because it's also their reputation on the line, of course.
Yeah, for me, two things stand out. Tesla is pushing on all fronts. So probably they tried the top-down approach by some EU context that they have. EU tries to position themselves as more innovative. Probably with the relations that Elon has, he's been pushing it on the European level as well. So that's one, and then the bottom-up approach is by engaging the community and getting them on board. But the thing that stood out for me is like first of all, the public awareness of FSD in Europe is like 0.1% of people are aware that this technology exists.
Outside of the Tesla community, yeah.
Outside of the Tesla community, nobody knows it.
No.
From the people that actually own a Tesla, even when I was in the US, there's a small percentage, let's say 25%, that knows about this technology.
Yeah.
So we're talking about from, let's say, a fleet of 1.3 million cars, we're talking about 150,000-ish people that bought FSD over the years.
In Europe, you think?
Yeah.
I think a lot less.
Maybe less, or let's say positive assumption.
So that's like 10%.
Yeah, but let's take a positive assumption of 25%.
Sure. Okay.
And it's still 250,000
all of Europe
people. Yeah, in all of Europe. Also,
which is a big number, you mean?
A low number, I think.
A low number, because it's also separated in a whole bunch of countries, right? So you probably the uptake of FSD in Italy or so is even lower than countries like Norway. So that number is still very low. If you look at the total market penetration and the total Teslas on the road, we're talking about 2% of the cars. So we're talking about 0.2% or 0.3% of the cars that has that's of annual sales. So probably on the total cars on the road, it's probably
we have a
lower percentage.
In a year, we have around 10 million FSD fleet, isn't it? End of 2026.
Yeah, but in Europe, it's 1.5 million cars on the road.
Yeah, so that's like 15%. And there 10% from, which is 1.5%.
Yeah, but from
fleet.
the total fleet, that's even larger, of course, because you can accumulate cars from 10, 20 years.
Mm-hmm. So it's a small percentage.
It's a super small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So the public awareness, from my point of view, what would be the best step for Tesla is to have a large educational campaign about the safety of FSD,
which they started doing like last week.
Yeah,
so
with their website.
They released a page about FSD and very transparent and open about it. So that's something that's still coming.
Yeah, and it also shows, I mean, the product is still in beta, no?
Well, it's
so
almost out of beta.
Almost, yeah. So I think in December, January, February, the product is done.
Yeah, and the beta label is gonna disappear from autopilot in total.
Exactly. So that's the moment that they can put all their cards on the table.
Yeah,
and then everything will start.
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many levers to pull.
Yeah,
and there's still like a benefit for them to have it approved here, because it will get more customers in there. It allows them to open up a subscription model. They can play around with more promotional offers. Let's say FSD transfer to boost new car sales, or 3 months of free FSD, which you can actually use if you refer someone, and also to get like more kilometers of FSD on European roads outside of only Tesla drivers.
Yeah. So, but I do follow your line of thought that where are the priorities? And I think the number one priority by Tesla is actually building out a robotaxi product.
improving the technology.
First, making sure that the product is done, which is almost done right now, and then it's all about expanding the robotaxi product and service.
Yeah, so it's the roads for regulation are being paved, and of course Tesla want to make it happen fast because they got ton of complaints from their customers. Like, I want this.
Yeah, and then the most important thing is, like, if this exemption gets through, Tesla is going to shape future regulations instead of only being on the receiving end of it, because they get an exemption for maximum 3 years. But this then FSD will act as a benchmark for future regulations to be made, because it needs to be incorporated in some shape or form. So instead of like, this is Tesla FSD, like you get smacked on the fingers, you can do this, and you need 5 seconds for this, and like you downplay the whole system. Now it just gets released. You see in real life that it's a very safe, reliable, autonomous driving software. There's no ignoring it anymore. So like, if this doesn't happen, like, autonomy in general is doomed for at least another 3-4 years.
Yeah, but I'm looking at, there are a couple of things that Tesla can do to make it faster. One of all is the priorities are like Florence said, on the making the product ready, getting their miles in the US, focus on robotaxi. Those are of course the priorities for Tesla right now in the biggest market, US and China.
100.
What Tesla has been doing in the past is probably also what they're going to do for FSD, because the regulators don't have a clue where they need to start working on, because it's a total new technology that that gets introduced. Same was with the Gigafactory in Berlin. Tesla needed to go to a ton of regulation in order to build that factory. But Tesla built an internal system for the regulators to fast-track the approval rating. So although it was a slow process for European standards,
it was still
super fast, because Tesla made a sort of internal documenting system where they helped the authorities to give exactly what they want in a sort of faster and digestible manner.
Instead of a back and forth emailing, I want this report and I want this report.
Yes, and Tesla is super anxious about the safety of FSD, right? So they're very cautious about the whole rollout. And Tesla wants to be it as safe as possible. So Tesla is actually on board of being very, very cautious because their rollout of FSD so far has not been very aggressive.
It has never been, no.
No, and also for the robotaxis and cybercabs, it's very modest approach at first to be absolutely sure that the highest safety standards are being met. Yeah. Tesla is also going to insurance their own fleet, so it's also when they cause damage is for their own cost.
Yeah.
What I'm saying here is that Tesla will probably provide the whole monitoring system, the whole checks and balances system, and just hand it over to the authorities and say, these are the metrics you need to keep an eye on. So if we start violating these kind of metrics, then
I'm hoping
you know where to find me.
I'm hoping that exactly something like this is going to happen. So you finally have a company which is focused on solving one issue, autonomous driving. Like, from a first principles way of thinking, has come up with multiple ways of measuring and testing stuff. And of course, they made some mistakes, and they have possibly even too many metrics.
Yeah.
But they're a completely different way of looking at a problem and how to solve it. Completely like diametrically opposed to how normal regulators would look into things. So I think this will shape it, and they will become not only the benchmark in software, but also the benchmark in how to
Monitor.
and how to evaluate safety standards in the space.
Yeah. So what has always been the number one priority for Tesla? Safety. So safety was always the number one priority also in building the electric cars.
Yep.
For autonomy, what is the objective for autonomy?
Have as few miles between a critical disengagement.
Yeah, so safety.
Yeah.
Safety again.
And what is the data currently showing? More safe. Safe.
Yep.
It's a safer approach.
It has been like autopilot has been in general safer than the average human for quite some
It
time.
reminds me of a quote of Steve Jurvetson, one of the ex-board members of Tesla, and one of the first Tesla Model S drivers. He said, in the future, you would only want to have the car which has an AI which is safer than yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that sums it up. It's all indeed about safety.
Safety
And FSD is only getting it the car which already has a 5-star safety rating.
Yep.
I even think 5-star plus or something. They are like the number one in safety,
Yeah.
even better than Volvo.
Yeah.
By far, I believe.
which is a very unknown fact still for many non-Tesla
Yeah.
owners, that Tesla is the safest car on the road.
If you tell them like that the glass roof is indeed safer than a regular roof, people like, how can it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one of the reasons that they chose?
The stiffness, so like it improves handling, but it's also safer in collisions. It increases the stiffness of the whole structure.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, if you want to get into an Uber, you want to be safe. Well,
Yeah.
it's even better than an Uber because
You don't
there's
have
no
to talk.
driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also recommend people that friends like I want to buy a new car, and I said buy a Tesla. Why? You're a Tesla fan. I said no, it's the safest car. You have a family, so
No, man, they're plastic cars, man. They're toy cars with the electric engine.
yeah. But then they look into it and they say, hell, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's the safest car on the road. I buy the Tesla to protect my family. It feels good. And then they buy the Tesla. And the FSD is a 5 to 10x leap in making that car even safer.
And you know what they say, right? Butts in seats.
Yeah, and
Well,
it's
once the
also,
butt is in the
I mean,
seat-
it completely aligns with their other goal, which is to bring transport to the masses. And how do you bring transport to the masses? To get the cost per mile as low as possible. And if you have a very safe car, do you need any insurance?
Yeah. And what do you actually save when you make a safe car?
Insurance cost
No.
and repair and maintenance.
No, you save lives.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you're economically driven, Florian.
Sorry.
but,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we
Who
actually
gives a fuck about lives? Come on.
we actually got
How expensive are
for
your
humans.
lives? Yeah.
No, but
We are pro-human.
in
yeah.
in the end, it's about saving lives. What Tesla is doing here with the cars, right? So
Yep.
and there I see like a very compelling argument for the regulators to adopt it. But I think the regulators want to adopt safer options because that's also their objective normally. They want to be as safe as possible. But they find just the difficulty. How do we do this? How do we push this through with this maze of rules, etc., that we need to go through?
Yeah.
So there I see Tesla sort of helping, providing sort of the software structure, the monitoring structure, everything needed. And they have that in place because they use that internally because their objective is the same that sort of regulatory bodies need to have.
But I think that like that whole dogma shift still needs to take place because like also in the post that Tesla released, and I think was a very vital piece of information, is that the current sets of regulations are way too outdated, redundant, and rules based. So that way of looking at making software is still very much in the minds of the regulators as a simple if this then that kind of looking at things, and like put a line of code that it cannot do this when this and this and this is happening, and like it's a very old man gray pinstriped automotive CEO kind of thinking, and that still needs to land in their heads. I think that's the biggest bottleneck, because of course they all want to do it out of safety, and that's something that we should all applaud and strive for, because you cannot not agree with the statement, let's save lives, like a human life is worthy of saving. But how you approach it to make it safe, that's where the big difference is. That Tesla, I think, by far is the best position to have an educated claim about this topic.
Yeah, it's how would you make an analogy to your iPhone, for example? So, I mean, an iPhone you don't choose because of the looks of the iPhone, or
not really, not anymore.
If you look at the same lens, is how do you buy a car? Normally, you would buy the car because it has this feeling and it has this brand, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But how will people choose a car in the future? Is that still the same reasons where the old car brands are appealing to? So Volvo was always known for safety, but where is BMW known for, or Mercedes, or?
Like as a car guy myself, BMW.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, BMW is of course it centers around the driver. The whole interior of the vehicle is slightly at an angle, so it's driver oriented.
Yeah,
it is by far the most balanced vehicle that you could buy, or one of
a
the
race car. Yeah,
exactly. So it's a very purist experience.
Yep.
If you want to go for comfort, look no further. It's Mercedes. Das Beste oder nichts. They're the best or nothing. Their motto has been true for quite some time, not anymore. And Audi is always like the cutting edge technology. Well, nowadays that means touchscreen, interior, put it there, put it there, and we're like cutting line technology.
How do you say it in German? The
Vorsprung durch Technik.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we're Porsche.
Porsche is also a very purist experience, of course, with the heritage of 50, 60, 70 years of like the same bodywork.
It's design more.
It's design, but like the design has been.
Why don't you talk about French cars, Kees?
Oh fuck no!
Huh?
Nobody wants to talk about French cars.
Whoa! We touched something.
No.
What's happening, Kees?
French cars are made out of spit and Kleenex. I think no. There's the French drive terrible, and they make horrible cars.
What kind of cars?
Horrible.
Oh, horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, no, I'm not at all a French.
I used to like Italian cars in the past, like
they look nice. They look nice.
The more sport cars.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I do still believe that there will be people buying cars specifically because of a brand and an experience. If I just take it personally, I think my daily driver will always be a Tesla, but I would love to go on a skiing trip in an Audi RS6 and just down the autobahn as fast as I can in comfort, 4-wheel drive, and like a big ass monster, and have a cool race car that you can take out on the track every now and then.
Yeah, well,
but so to go further on the question then. So what happened with the iPhone in the phone industry that everybody started to actually get into what the iPhone was doing? So there was no...
I think that the form factor is very important.
Yeah, so if you look at my iPhone 13, how much does it differ to the 16 or to the 10 in the form
In form, almost nothing, almost zero.
and in software?
It's quite a difference. It's faster, and you have more under the hood improvements.
Yeah, and why are people mocking Apple at this moment?
Yeah, because whenever they release a new phone, it's just like, let's swap the cameras, and we have a new phone.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
And that's number two at this moment.
It's no clue. I haven't been paying attention.
They are lacking any vision on AI.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did is like cancel all AI stuff on my
Yeah,
phone.
so everybody in the test community is already talking about a takeover from Tesla of Apple or an XAI.
And then
Apple,
finally, the Tesla phone is going to get released.
Yeah, so I think in the future your phone will be all AI. So which phone are you going to take? It's the phone which has the best AI.
Yeah, and does the best software. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't use any apps anymore. You just go straight to the AI, and the AI will tell you and bring it to all your.
It's a very dystopian future to me sometimes.
To come to your car
So-
question.
So indeed, so if you look at that as another analogy,
yeah.
how are you going to look at the car? What's the number one item that you want?
I think
in a car.
A car needs to be updatable. It needs to stay up to date, even after 5 years.
Mhm.
And I think like the same reason I would buy a specific serial number and up from like a MacBook, for instance. I want to be able to have the latest software version running on it, and
I have a
possibly
total,
some upgradability.
total different take. If you look at the last 25 years, what the trend in car industry is that cars has become more and more commoditized.
Yeah.
So the difference between brands is becoming lesser and less. Like
They have all the same grills.
yeah, you have the
Kind
same
of, yeah,
grills.
yeah.
There's a whole bunch of a lot of M&A in the car, so everything is consolidated by same
yeah.
factories, which is always a recipe. Like all the car companies are being run by financials, so that means top line, bottom line is most important. So that means one size fits all type of cars are becoming more and more.
There's almost no single car manufacturer which is still independent. So like you have Stellantis, which have like 12 or 13 different brands under their name, GM the same. And
the Fiat
exactly,
group and all that. So that is already like being being
it's
grouped
captured
together.
by shareholder capitalism for 50 years plus.
Yeah, so therefore also in those kind of M&A kind of landscapes, where a couple of big car manufacturers are taking over all the others, that's mostly not the situation where the most innovation find place, right? We know that. So over the last 25 years, or maybe even longer, 40 years, the cars has been being commoditized, which is on the one hand a good thing, because therefore it became more affordable for people to own cars.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. But also that because of lesser and less distinction between the brands, now the younger generation of people, they don't care too much about cars.
Volkswagen, Audi.
Yeah, because it's anyway a
Skoda
commodity that they
feels
have
the
been
same.
offered. So you maybe we are sort of the last generation of sort of car enthusiasts, and of course you got youngsters nowadays that like sport cars, but that's a very small group of people. Since it's also very costly for many European roads to have like very special cars. If you buy a car for instance here in the Netherlands of above 250k, you pay a yearly amount of
insane amount of taxes.
You pay a lot of tax on those kind of cars. So to have a car that distincts himself from the others is unaffordable. So why would then people focus on that? So we only see commodity. Everything looks the same. Are we in a communist state or is it? No? But that's the thing. But what the younger generation only cares about is transport. And they
transport and ease of use.
So they have been grown up with Uber as an alternative. a lot of younger people doesn't even get their driver license anymore because they do a lot with the Uber
They
app.
don't even buy bikes anymore. It's just you get a subscription on swap feeds.
Yeah, so they're used in the subscription economy. Let's say people under 30. So the choice of car is not a question because people will choose the type of
A
transport.
swap what?
Swap feeds.
Yeah, a swap bike.
Swap
Yeah,
feeds.
that's
You never heard of this? Jawel, toch?
I do, but
Oh, okay.
Our
For our
international
international
listeners.
audience,
Bicom
the
subscription.
the bike is like the main mode of transportation in our small country. But why own a bike if you can also swap a bike when it's damaged or it gets stolen? So you have a monthly subscription on a bike, and we call it a swap bike, swap feeds.
and how many bikes are there in the Netherlands?
we can
I have
More or less than the inhabitants.
More.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
So you always lose your bike, no? If you
You lose it, it gets stolen.
It gets stolen.
Yeah.
So repair is a pain in the ass. So this concept was like a complete hit, no?
It's such a complete hit that they even launched in Germany as well. So when I went to Hamburg,
Schwabfahrrad.
Schwabfahrrad. That's actually a good one.
Voorsprong door
Yeah.
technique.
Yeah. But when I went to Hamburg, I took a swapfiets, a Schwappingfahrrad,
Charles Schwab Fahrrad.
gebraucht Fahrrad. Nee.
Gebraucht.
Yeah.
Doppelfahrrad.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it works. Yeah, it's a proven concept. It
My
works.
point is people don't want cars anymore. They want transport. And they want transport in the most efficient and the most cheap manner as possible. So therefore you take a bike because it's cheap. But so
25 million bicycles.
So if you have a situation for Tesla where car sales are declining in Europe due to all sorts of reasons, and you then have a situation where regulation is sort of stagnating there. There will be discussions within Tesla, like Robotaxi Cybercabs. That is already internally the priority for Tesla because that's where the money is being made in the long term, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I perfectly see a scenario happening where FSD get postponed because for probably the regulation, we have 1.5 million cars on the road to suddenly have 150,000 cars that are autonomous. That is something they probably cannot oversee. That's a very big thing for them. So the time difference between the approval of FSD and Cybercabs or Robotaxis coming on the road is probably a very, very small gap.
Mm-hmm.
So because Robotaxis and Cybercabs can be in certain areas, right? So that is a way safer approach probably than FSD. And also, the long-term vision for Tesla is to make transport as affordable as possible, and not cars as affordable as possible.
Yeah, true. And I
Yeah,
was
and the Cybercab is, I mean, the unsupervised robotaxi service is so much more developed and integrated, and it will give so much more value, not only on the hardware and software side to the customer compared to just FSD for a Model Y on hardware 3 or a Model 3, current Model 3. I mean, the added value will be so much higher because of the whole proposition they are able to deliver. So I'm completely with you. I think once we see April next year and we see the Cybercab actually rolling out of the production line and we see the first cars driving around and people ordering those cars, having their golden water bottle with them, putting there in the golden car. I mean, that's the moment the golden age has started, and everybody will look at that product and service like, wow, why should I buy a car?
And also
Why?
if-
What would be my
So,
incentive to
And
do
if-
that?
if
If this feels completely different than a car.
and
I
imagine
mean, it looks like a car, but it has nothing to do with any service which is around at this moment.
No, and what I think currently is the biggest luxury in a Tesla for me is the fact that if my profile is attached to the vehicle, I can just walk up to the vehicle, it opens, takes all my favorite settings, all my playlists, all my Netflix, my seating position, my favorite fan positioning where I get the fresh air blown to. Like, that's luxury.
And your AI is also integrated because we haven't talked about that yet, but the reasoning and the sentient mode, etc., but also the integration of Grok at this moment in other countries. It's like becoming so certainly immersive.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it's like you actually want to be in the car at this moment instead of in front of your desk with your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a better feeling being immersed in the AI in your private, not owned car, but
but it feels like a lounge, right? Where you enter a lounge.
Exactly, yeah.
it's like your office
Yeah.
or whatever. How would you call this? Like your
A lounge pod.
lounge pod.
Yeah, it's a lounge pod. You sit in there, you relax, you step in. It knows automatically.
Your nervous system calms down.
Yeah, it knows
do a breathing
automatically where
exercise.
you want
It
to
comes
go.
with the infrared panel if you want.
Hyperbaric
Exactly,
chamber, hyperbaric chamber in it.
Hyperbaric
Yeah,
chamber.
so you get
why
the help.
not? With the APEX system.
Yeah, we already got HEPA filters in the car, right? So
Yeah.
this is a funny story. I used to have a lot of hay fever. It was horrible. So back in the days, when the hay fever season was worse, sometimes to calm my nerve systems down, I just sit in the Tesla and do like
Bioweapon
Yeah, yeah.
defense mode.
bioweapon defense mode, sit in there, and
To
then
just get clean air.
take a shower, and then I could go to sleep. So Tesla was already saving my life there. But that can be easily a function in the Tesla, that you get fresh air, fresh oxygen, and you get out of the car like you slept for an hour and you totally rejuvenated yourself out of that experience. But what Tesla and Elon's companies are doing is so immersive, because yesterday I was listening...
Immersive? What do you mean by that?
Immersive, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, immersive.
Yeah,
The
immersive.
same word I used.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so many technologies are now being rolled out at a pace that we cannot comprehend almost. So yesterday I was listening to the annual shareholder meet again.
The most previous one.
Yeah, the
Okay.
previous one, and Elon mentioned.
You were bored or what? What happened?
No, I
Why
had a fever, so
Oh.
I actually listened to the last 5 annual shareholder meetings. So,
Really?
Yeah. I do this for the podcast.
Yeah, it's your
you know.
job. Yeah.
It's my job. So what he said was like bringing cargo to space will be cheaper
Yeah.
than
An flight.
than an air flight.
747. Yeah.
Than a 747. So if you only think about those applications, it's going to be so transformative.
Yeah.
Uh,
Of course. And yeah.
And
so
Elon speculates now on this with AI data centers and all that. And Tesla, they said Tesla is going to play a role in that. Can be manufacturing of all sorts of satellites, all sorts of space applications, or all sorts of solar applications that are needed, and to do that. And he said it's not going to be orbit, but eventually going to be sent to deep space, because the amount of energy that they can capture from deep space is so much bigger than that they can
it's
have
crazy.
right now.
I mean, they're gonna. It's not only personal transportation, but also cargo, and not only cargo, but also the Amazon infrastructure or the Uber infrastructure. They're gonna attack that as well.
Yeah.
With technology from SpaceX, which is going to be. Who's going to compete against them? Yeah, Blue Origin, but they are 5 years behind. So
we're entering an era that within 5 years that will be probably true.
Yeah.
because then we're manufacturing more than thousands of starships per year, and the cost will go down dramatically.
And the rate of improvement of AI is so insane that the level of like AI capacities that we will have by then
Yep.
will even further accelerate.
And
these,
also a year from now. So
This is also put in the booklet to RDW, no? About what's the future of the robotaxi.
I don't think so.
yeah, but let's just
I don't
say
think so.
a year from now. Yeah, right now we have approximately 6.5 billion accumulative miles driven,
Yeah.
right, on FSD. And Tesla is now on the verge of ramping up their robot on wheels, the cars again. So with the unboxing system and the Cybercabs now coming out, but also the semis, etc. And the value proposition of the Model Ys and Model 3 very attractive. With FSD being developed in such an aggressive way, one year from now, FSD will be so much more ahead. It will probably be a 10 billion miles because it's a accumulative
More than 10.
curve, right? It will be way more than 10. So that technology is developing. So there are now a couple of technologies like AI, FSD, transport to space, the unboxing system of Tesla, being rolled out as well. Europe will be sort of will be abundant. That can be one thing, or taken by storm at some point. So it can be one of those things, because when Tesla is at volume production for the Cybercab, they of course want to expand globally. So that can only means that suddenly like 500,000 cars are entering the continent. So you can easily see a situation where Europe becomes so anxious about that whole idea. So the more Europe postpones and delays, the less people can anticipate on what can happen. Like if you're right now a Uber driver and you live in Austin, you at least have some time to think about your new thing, right?
Yeah.
You can think about.
But in Europe, it would just happen, and then boom, you're out of a job. You mean like as an Uber driver?
Yeah. So therefore, it will be postponed. And you see what is going on there. So we postpone, and therefore the technology will
digging our own grave and keep on digging.
Yeah, we're digging, and we keep on
the
digging
Uber
further.
driver in Austin sees this shift happening, and right now he's driving. He's doing his drives with FSD, showing people how cool it is.
Yeah.
But by living through this transition phase, they have time to save up some money, buy a couple Teslas, and then they can become their own taxi company, for instance.
Yeah.
But the people here will
or
be
do
just
something else.
blown away. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a chance of thinking about their future and the meaningful ways AI really impact their day-to-day.
I do hope we get some more information about that, about the shepherds, and how Tesla envisions how the shepherds will play a role on their network, because there's no information about it at all at this moment, and it looks like Tesla is not even going to use those shepherds at this moment. But
I have no clue.
I haven't heard about that for a long time now. It has always been like
the holy grail.
The promise.
But
the closer we get to the real deal, and the moment Cybercab is released, the less I hear about this business model for
shepherds
and for former cab drivers. So,
But probably Tesla will have their destiny in own hand in the beginning because of safety and all that. So that will be a certain phase where that will happen. And what I see is that Tesla will have the most crowded roads in city centers, and let them do the rest by the shepherd, so to say, that can rent out their car.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the role, but we haven't heard about it it at all.
No, Tesla takes it by the
sure,
by when the technology is there. But then the dynamic that now is going on in Europe, and that's why we need to make faster moves, because people can get used to the technology.
We as Europe.
Yeah. Because people can get used to the technology, so it doesn't take them by
surprise.
By surprise, or by storm, better to say, because the rollout of the Cybercab will be one of the most aggressive rollouts that Tesla has ever done for a car. So that's one. The technology of FSD is improving and improving, so it will be without flaws everything on the road when it will enter Europe. So that's also taken by storm. And the third threat that there is let's say you are one of the shepherds in the US and you're successful with your business model. And then suddenly you see Europe opening where nobody is aware of this whole opportunity. What do you think you want to do with your capital? Of course, you want to fund that in Europe. So who's then going to reap the profits of that? Not the European shepherds, but the shepherds of the US that are sort of first
Up and running.
Yeah, up and running and have that in place. So therefore, it's very urgent for Europe to adapt that technology so everybody can get used to it.
And have
a small scale
and have a meaningful say in stuff. Because yesterday I was watching something on YouTube where this dude was explaining AI 2027. And that's where like a lot of the great minds of AI have been working on, and there's been quite some good research about it, that 2027 is going to be a very pivotal year, and that currently we're in this phase that's, let's say, started in mid 2025 when we had the ChatGPT moment. Everybody thinks AI is a large language model, but in the end, like between now and let's say 2027, we're gonna be light years ahead of the current LLMs that we're running right now. And that, like in a very dystopian scenario, you cannot run from this game. Like China has a say, Russia has a say, and the US has a say. So there's going to be like this arms race that you cannot back down from this arms race because the other one will win. So we need to like be very active and really embrace it, regardless of the outcome, if it's a bad one or a good one. If we stay out of this arms race for too long, we have no clue what we're talking about, and we just need to follow. Like we're ruining our own safety position in a geopolitical landscape. So like we need to take part in it.
Yeah, and also miss out on the sustainable abundance that's being created, because if you can
Case for president, I say.
Yeah, but
What's the function of Ursula actually? What is she, president, or what is she?
Spending your money.
Spending my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good question. It's very undemocratically elected
She's
official.
not like a prime minister or something. What is she? What's her role?
She is the EU president, so she's
EU president.
She's leading the European Commission.
Yeah. So
so I think Mario Draghi created a great report also pointing this out, what you just said. So I think they are on the game, but we really need to see how Europe is going to play this out. But
let's,
at this moment they're lagging behind.
Let's take a scenario where also cybercabs and robotaxis are being regulated and being postponed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they're postponed for 5 years. Yeah, so 5-6 years, whatever. Take a time frame like that, and then you say, why would that happen? Well, if you look at Uber right now, Uber is basically just a taxi app. It's the same. Everybody needs the same approvals to have a taxi license and all that. So they created a level playing field. In the beginning, the launch of the Uber app, well, private drivers could work in the system. The cost of Uber was already so low that it was already favorable to not buy a car anymore in the Netherlands. You could make a drive from one point to Amsterdam to Schiphol for about 10, 15 bucks in the early days of
and then it
Uber.
wouldn't make sense to own a vehicle at all. Yeah.
So nowadays it's already like 30 to 40 bucks because of you need that taxi permit, and there are only a few permits being handed out in Amsterdam, because otherwise the taxi drivers cannot make enough money. So that's everybody that has been following that knows that there are a lot of corruption in that system as well. But that can also happen with the Cybercabs and the Robotaxis. So then what you're going to create for the sustainable abundance together is cheap energy, cheap transport, and cheap labor. Those are the three things that Tesla is working on for sustainable abundance. So if cheap energy, we know how problematic the situation is in Europe when it comes to energy at this moment. So we don't see improvements in that. Then cheap transport, which is tied to energy in one way. Cheap transport will be deregulated and being pushed out 5 years. So the cost of living in Europe will be higher and higher. Well, in the rest of the world, you will see deflationary concepts because of this technology.
Yep.
Yeah, where we have done a great job of
Covering all these topics.
screwing ourselves.
Yeah, but if you think about it like that, you see the urge of adapting these kind of things and not be too.
And I think a counterpoint could be, I think if you look at it right now in the digital world, everything is going through the App Store of Apple.
Yep.
So Apple has a monopoly on every euro or which is being earned, and all that money goes to the app developers, which are mainly, I mean, the big seven. They are earning their money in the US. So all the money is actually sucked out of Europe and brought to the US. So this is also why I still have the question: how is Elon gonna look at this way? Because of course he's going to bring cheap energy, cheap labor, and cheap transport. But if everybody's going to place their order through the Robotaxi app, all that money is going to the US, and it's not staying in this local economy.
Yep.
So how is he going to act on that? And I think if our European regulators and European leaders are aware of this, they should fight for that. That the local people should have like a or become like a co-owner of the fleet, and earn some tokens on that, and maybe have a coin.
The answer to your question is, I think, also very vital in how people look at the future and Elon in general, because this very dystopian setting, like we've all seen these movies. There's this one visionary tech billionaire who is now like, probably he died and got frozen or cloned or something, and like we hate him for that for happening, and we should have paid attention in AI. Like if Elon could answer this question, like who's going to reap the rewards, who's going to get all the benefits? Is that only Tesla and Elon?
No,
so and then we touch a very broader subject, what's going to happen with the economy. So I would love Elon to actually explain his quote. Optimus is going to
this podcast is turning into a lot more political, philosophical than Tesla.
Florian,
which is a good thing.
No.
I'm also reading Plato right now. Okay.
Florian, to give the 101 of I think what is happening here. That is also always the messaging, right? The money is being sucked out of the system. I disagree, because those goods and services are bringing down the cost of living for people using those products and those goods and services. So let's say your cost of driving becomes like just 1/5 or 1/10 of what you're paying right now for your car and for your energy and for your insurance and everything. You don't pay insurance anymore. You don't pay gasoline anymore. You don't have that already, but you don't have to charge anymore. You don't have the cost of ownership of having a car. You just have to pay a small fraction. that frees up a lot of capital for you, and that frees up a lot of time, and that frees up a lot of opportunities for transport.
For the local economy.
Yeah, so you can start making
True.
Dutch cheese again and start selling Dutch cheese to the US.
I will become a Dutch philosopher. again.
yeah, but that
One of the great Dutch philosophers.
but that's always the message. Like Apple is stealing all that money, and okay, they ask a high tax, 30% on the App Store. But what they have done is enable millions and millions of developers to have a job and to program. So you see in countries like India, Pakistan, that now have a bunch of developers working on those apps because they have that
I completely
opportunity.
agree with your statement.
But what you say is always the sentiment in what they're pushing. Yeah, they're extracting the money, but that's not true. They're creating something of value, and they get paid for that.
Yep. Yeah. So what you're actually saying, it's not Elon's problem,
No, and those services
and he shouldn't focus on it.
and those services get taxed as well, right? So it's
of course,
they need to pay their tax on it.
But,
Same happens with
but I could argue. I mean, I was almost afraid that we were going to touch upon this point because it will be a reason for the regulators to say, no, we're not going to do this because we're actually going to bring in like a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if we're going to put all those cars on the road, one thing, I mean, we know it's going to win.
It's safer,
win.
it's safer, it's cheaper.
So we know for sure if FSD is being allowed that the Trojan horse is being put on the roads. And that's one big cross for the German car industry. That's how we believe in it. So if I would be a European leader and I would be aware of this, and I think they are aware of this, I would start talking about these kind of things, and actually start the negotiation with Elon.
Yeah, and start making sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was also thinking like what's the role of a government? What's the role of like how is an economy gonna look like? If this pace of innovation keeps on continuing in the AI space, then like the whole concept of governing and your economy will completely need to change to accommodate the future we have in mind. So like it makes total sense if like Elon answering this seemingly basic question, but then also like our leaders
you
need
also
to
have to keep in
discuss
mind.
this.
I mean, we with Mr. Green, we started 15, 16 years ago with a goal of getting rid of fossil fuel.
Yeah, and fossil fuels.
We were situated
burn tires, not fuel.
Exactly, and we were pretty activistic about this. So, but we also learned that, I mean, the Netherlands is a big oil business company. I mean, we have Rotterdam, we have refineries, we have Royal Shell.
Well, but one of our biggest companies is an oil producing company.
The gas in the north.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of old industries who are pro-oil.
Yeah, and dependent on the
dependent
oil.
on oil. And they have tried to keep the electric car out, you know. And there was a certain moment that they couldn't stop it anymore, and it was getting in.
Yeah.
And then you also saw the narrative of Shell about the electric car, etc. It was fascinating to look at. And I think this is actually the same thing going to happen right now. I mean, we have so many vested interests here in Europe, which are not going to benefit from this new technology.
The antibody reaction will be strong.
Yeah, exactly. So there's also a lot of hidden agendas behind our leaders and making decisions about things that which don't feel pro-innovation or pro-future or whatever. But
and every time we have a switch of the people fulfilling these high positions, these high offices, the power dynamics change again. So like these invisible interests and people behind the scenes, they stay there. So like their power or hold over the people in power.
But I do think there's a big change coming right now, because also the old oil business, like the people in Saudi Arabia, they are also seeing
the world's moving in a
different
direction.
There's just still a small amount of time left for us to actually sell the product that we get for 0 and we can sell for 60.
Yeah.
There will be a time that we still have all these products, but where there's no market anymore. At least we are getting into AI and we need a lot of energy, or will still be used for a lot of things. So there's no problem for them, I think. But
No.
I do think that we're entering a new phase of this old economy actually resisting
But
and actually working together with the new economy. So
And not fighting it.
I don't know if you've seen the $1 trillion deal between Saudi Arabia and the US.
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really figured out what's happening there, but that's a big deal.
And
where-
again, no money flowing to Europe. So
No,
that's
so there's $1 trillion flowing to the US and mainly to Tesla and Nvidia, I've understood.
Yeah, so those are big.
Well,
big
the only
ones in
reaction
there.
we have here in the EU is like we name it oligarchy and crazy tech billionaires, and like part ways with them. But I think the only reasonable thing to do in this rapidly evolving economy, where AI is going to be one of the cornerstones,
How are we going to cooperate? How can
work
we
together. Like
yeah.
they have stood at the cradle of AI, and have followed every step of the way. Why now scapegoat them as in being crazy oligarch tech billionaires?
Yeah.
Collaborate with them and make sure they cannot become those crazy tech oligarchs in a reasonable fashion.
Europe can actually be in a very attractive position if I think about it.
You mean communism?
No, of course not. That's not attractive case. So
Well, for Europeans, it seems to be.
but
We're all voting in
that's
that
not
way.
the thing. But what Europe can do is they can be hesitant. That's okay. But you can learn about the evolving technologies both in US and both in China, and adopt the successful ones. So and create by doing that, also creating your own environment of innovation. There are many good innovative companies in Europe, so I'm not all pessimistic about that in many fields and industries. Many bright minds also in Europe that can do that. But if you have the sort of adaptability to sort of adapt the technologies that are doing really well, you can position yourself in a very good spot. But I think the obligation is there to adapt faster, because then at least people can adapt to the technology that is just moving faster. And my big insight having this discussion with you guys is that the more you delay, the more you postpone, the technology is developing faster and faster. You're postponing and postponing, the more it will take you by storm.
Yep.
And that is as a very shock effect on the system. Right now, at least with large language models, all my entrepreneurial friends here in Europe and all my other friends here in Europe as well are using it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's there. And because it's a superior way to use the internet than the old way.
Yeah, and for many it already replaced Googling stuff.
Yeah, and it's at least everybody used as a productivity enhancer. And then you see people start building agents. They start doing their own things with it.
And like the agent, the agentic side of AI has been coming up for like I have multiple people in my environment that already built agent AIs for themselves.
Yeah.
But what I find difficult to answer is when will we stop using AI as a tool? Because we are always very used to, like the phone came out and it's a tool, but instead of a tool, like it just traps you all day. When will AI cease to be just a tool and completely implemented and like acting on its own, and will have own agency instead of being prompted by humans?
Well, the moment it gets embodied.
Yeah, exactly.
So the first embodiment we are seeing right now is in the car. And we've already seen that it can order and go through a drive-through and order a burger, etc.
Yeah.
And I think with the 14.3, we'll actually see some real high-level reasoning going on between the outer world and the embodied AI. So
Yeah, and
I think that's the first moment that we see true value.
So this is going to be next year.
And we are able to step into this. So we are able to step into this embodied AI. So that's even crazier. Like we are getting ourselves into this kind of sentient.
Good morning, Florian.
Yeah.
Where would you like to go? Oh wait, I already know.
Yeah.
That's how AI is going to work. You just get in and it
Yeah.
knows where
So
you're going to go.
you will probably be amazed how your day is going to look like because the AI is going to guide you. And you're, whoa, it was an amazing day.
Amazing day.
Okay, Florian.
Where did we go? Yeah.
Today's drive will be 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Where are we going?
Would you like some infrared therapy along the way? Or do you want to listen to a podcast, for instance?
I see your HRV is a little bit high.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put on the massage.
Yeah. Your Whoop needs charging. I can charge it for you.
Yeah, so we will get all sorts of ventures, but what I hope we get a situation where we adopt, because it's 2 years ago that I went to Austin to just test the technology, and even back then the people in Austin were not aware of having FSB version 12 in their cars. So that says how unaware people are about these technology leaps that are happening,
and still are where even FSD is allowed.
Yeah, and
Wide release.
just take the large language models and as a good example, you know, so many people are now so happy with their AI.
But that's also.
opportunity.
I mean, if FSD would be contained to how we know it right now, just you buy a car and you buy the software. And there's just one person actually knowing that the software is available, and only the people who get into your car are getting known to that.
Yep.
There's no network effect at all. But with Robotaxi getting on the streets, that's the moment the network effect and the exponential curve will actually start.
We have the RDW, but it's also probably insurance companies that in Europe that are doing business forever on the old way. Tesla is not for nothing has launched their own insurance arm, but to deal with this problem, right? But we don't have Tesla insurance yet in Europe.
No,
so then we have the regulator being approved, but then the insurance companies get a heart attack because probably they're not aware at all of this thing happening. Maybe a handful of people, but they also have been doing business as usual for the last 25 years. So that is also going to be
I think that there might even be a very interesting business model in offering people who purchase self-driving vehicles an even lower premium, but earning more money on your lower premium because there are in fact less damages. The only reason why you have a high premium is where you're located, what your age is, and possibly gender and your driving behavior. So
you also need to have a local insurance company that are very adaptive to this new value proposition. So that also needs to happen. So those kind of things, and the robo Cybercab.
But this issue is also only with cars that you buy, and this issue is not with a Robotaxi. So that's why I think Elon already made the decision 3-4 years ago. We're going to go all in on Robotaxi because he sees the network effects of it.
Yeah,
and he sees the exponential growth of it, and he was already aware that there were a lot of people not even aware of this amazing product.
Yeah.
While he's always saying that, I mean, that's why he's such a good marketeer. He always says, you know, there's only one thing which actually makes the product. It's the product itself.
Yep.
So I don't spend any dollar on actually getting the word out, but I spend every dollar on making the product better.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, we discussed this already today, but the Cybercab is an embodied FSD immersive surface, which will sell for itself. I mean, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be fun. It's going to look like the future.
It's going to be safe
and
also
right now it's just the first iteration of Cybercabs that we have seen presented, right? But now we're already like months ahead again, so that is also developed super fast. So yeah, what's our bet? First Cybercabs or first FSD in Europe?
Cybercab. No, please let it be FSD.
Please.
Let it
Kees,
be FSD in February, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go for FSD in February.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for FSD
I have high hopes.
because I just want to pick up my
I'm
car.
so happy you're getting more and more optimistic.
It's coming back. It's very seasonal with me.
Depends on the minute we are talking to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so I just want to pick up my family and give them this experience of my car suddenly having this FSD capability. That would be awesome. But then, yeah, let's see what happens if they're in parallel or Cybercabs comes first. I'm thinking about all the hurdles that needs to be taken with also insurance. Makes me a bit more pessimistic.
Yeah, well, I think both from a regulatory and
I mean, Waymo is being insured as well, so
yeah, and like if you're
But
running
that's a Cybercab.
if you're
Yeah,
running a
so-
commercial operation, then your insurance is different altogether than from a
Yeah,
private point of view. But also the regulatory hurdles are a lot less because once the human gets taken out of the equation, you no longer have to regulate for stupid.
That's true.
And
I love that sentence.
yeah, so like, right, what are we so afraid of that when
Yeah.
a self-driving system is in operation, it will have a system boundary, and the people around you or you in the driver's seat are incapable of taking over the wheel and making a mistake and losing a life. Like, that's the reason why we're regulating this. But if you don't need to regulate for that whole part of the equation, it becomes a lot easier.
Okay, nice one, Kees. Thanks for
If
this.
if anybody has any questions regarding FSD,
Yeah.
can they contact you or
No, contact the RDW.
Ah!
Yeah, of course. Shoot me a message on. You cannot message me on
On
X.
X. Why not? Did you get too much DMs from
May.
May
Yeah, May was spamming me, so I needed to ghost her. No,
again?
no, not at all. No, I don't really need like everybody being able to.
No, but
spam
if
me.
if they follow you, first follow and then they can send you a
Exactly,
DM, no?
and if I don't follow back quickly enough, because I do need to follow back before we can start.
And otherwise, you
messaging.
just DM me and I will make
Yeah.
sure that
Yeah.
All
Kees
DMs
will
is
answer.
But
fine.
if you have any questions, be sure to ask them. I'm always available, almost always. And I think we're gonna do a more frequent spaces. At least, like, that's the suggestion.
And
that
did
we
you
made.
talk to Cybertruck EU yesterday?
Definitely.
Do you have any information about the product and FSD? And,
Yeah, well,
or are we going to bring it to the Netherlands?
Right, at least we got the Cybertruck here, right? So that's exciting.
Yeah. But so the thing with Cybertruck is, I found out what was happening. Tesla made a mistake that where all Cybertrucks that were shipped to Europe, if you would have purchased FSD beforehand and you would export it, you won't be able to use navigation, but you are able to use FSD, and that's called lucky mode. So you can just press FSD and it will take wherever FSD wants you to go. But there's also this other device that's being sold by some people for roughly 1,200 euros, 11.99 to be exact. You can connect something to the onboard diagnostics port in your Tesla and unlock FSD.
Yeah, but did that guy had any news on the Cybertruck in Europe? Because we almost forgot about that.
How do you mean?
Well, when can we buy a Cybertruck in Europe?
Oh, wow. No. Yeah.
Can you ask the RD Week? Can we start a Cybertruck
that's
campaign as well?
the same thing. Also, RDW is
Just
very
contact them,
involved in this.
Damien.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
bunch of. I have a bunch of. I'm going to contact the RDW. I'm so excited that you
But you're going to
guys are
release
allowing.
FSD. When I'm able to buy my Cybertruck?
No, not a question. I'm so excited that you finally allow the Cybertrucks on the road as well. So we promised our listeners to pick them up with our new Cybertruck, right?
Yeah.
When
Yep.
we bought it, but the regulation was a bit too hard. And I actually got the question from a couple of guys that are reminding me every month on, do you got your Cybertruck already?
Nope.
Well, these Swiss guys are actually working with their Swiss regulations on getting the Cybertruck regulated in Switzerland, no?
But we almost
Definitely,
sort of tend to forget, but never forget. Also, Cybertruck is still not on the road here in many European countries.
No. Yeah, but like
Which will be first, Cybercab or Cybertruck?
Cybercab
Or FSD.
100%. Cybercab.
Cab?
Yeah, I think Cybercab. Yeah.
Wow.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's very
So
sad. Yeah,
depressing.
definitely. Oh yeah, I sold my reservations for the Cybertruck. Yeah,
To who?
You got $100 back.
back to Tesla.
Huh?
I canceled my reservations.
Why?
Waiting forever, and yeah, like if I could use the extra cash.
Why didn't you come to me?
Yeah, should have, could have, didn't do it. Yeah, but yeah, I decided to sell them. Okay. Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, thanks, Kees. Thanks
You
for-
sometimes surprise me, Kees.
Yeah, but I was happy today. But
And optimistic.
I made you unhappy at the end.
Yeah.
All right. See you again next week.
Okay. Thank you,
care.
guys.